strap yourselves in and hold on.
He stands for truth. He stands for justice. He stands for what's right. This is the Alex Jones Show. Call Alex now, toll free, at 877-590-5525. Now live from Austin, Texas, here's Alex Jones.
All right, I want to take a lot of phone calls on the election, the economy, the New World Order being openly announced by all these world leaders. But this is a microcosm of everything we're dealing with, and I'm about to cover here briefly. A caller calls in, and I see it in the news every day. I scan hundreds of newspapers. And he says, yeah, my wife went in to the health department to get the exemption for vaccination. And they have them for certain jobs. They claim you have to do it. They have it for the public schools, the private schools. They claim it's the law, it's the law, it's the law. And I said, sir, just Google Texas vaccine exemption form or just add your state's name. And for Texas, I got 56,200 hits. Texas vaccine exemption form. Texas vaccine exemption, state of Texas. The state of Texas law grants and acknowledges, well, see, that's the new system. They grant us because we're slaves. And acknowledges the rights of parents to exempt their children or themselves from vaccinations. It goes the vaccine exemption forms for reasons of conscience, including, and you can go through. It's dshs.state.texas.us/immunization/school/default.shtm. But just Google Texas vaccine exemption form. Now here's the issue. Every year in August, right before school starts, on Austin News, on Dallas News, on New York News, everywhere, they announce, it's the law, you'll be arrested. Thousands show up for free immunization at the local Zilker Park, or thousands show up at the Texas Stadium up in Dallas, or thousands show up at the health department in St. George County, Maryland, and on hand was the state attorney making sure they follow the law. And then there were images, just in that case in Maryland, we called and got the guy on. This is at the start of school this year, and it shows police dogs barking, police in riot gear, because they got a lot of threatening phone calls, and over 2,000 children and thousands of parents lined up with these mobile vans being injected, and parents crying on the news. You can go pull these up. It was on CNN, ABC, everywhere, going, I just think it's wrong. It's the law. We got to take these. I don't like these. I can't believe it. Vaccines can make you sick. I can't believe they're threatening to arrest us. And I had the guy on, the state attorney, and he said, well, it's true. I don't vaccinate my children, and started laughing. You can go YouTube that. It's been posted. People take the audio of it and post it to video on the web. And he said, well, you're right. There is no law. And he said, oh, you ought to be a lawyer. You're real smart. Yeah, it's our policy, and then we kick you out for truancy, and then criminal charges come in. But on the news, nationwide, they advertised, it's the law, got to do it. Police dogs barking at the people as they were herded into the stadium. Now, people also email me and say I'm a liar. It's the law, you've got to take it. No, you don't. Not to be a doctor, not to be a nurse, not to go to college, not to go to public school, not to go anywhere. And by the way, then they try this idiot line of, well, we've got to lie and say it's the law because you can infect other children if you don't have it. Well, wait a minute. If they're protected with a smallpox shot or a flu shot or whatever it is, MMR, measles, mumps, rubella, tetanus, hepatitis, on and on and on again. Of course, tetanus isn't even communicable, so reportedly from other people. But the point is, then your child is protected. And by the way, the last 6 years in a row now, they haven't even guessed a year before what mutated version of the flu shot to produce. So when you take it, it does nothing. By the way, here's another one. Google flu shot Alzheimer's. Hundreds of studies, and the lowest study shows a doubling in Alzheimer's for those that have taken more than 3 flu shots in their life. And some studies show a 5-fold. Oh, don't believe me? Just Google it. And you're going to be on government sites, research facilities. It's all there. Now, imagine if they're lying to you about that, lying to you and saying it's the law, you've got to take shots. I mean, they CPS people's kids. They kidnap people's kids because the parents don't know. They do this all the time. We have a rogue criminal government that cons us and manipulates us. Now, there's no law that you've got to have vaccines. And so it's a fraud that they even tell you that you then need a waiver form. Okay, let's get some calls and we'll come back and take the rest of them. Joe in Wisconsin, you're on the air. Go ahead, Joe.
Hey, Kent. The Saccharin study, didn't they use cancer rats also? I just thought I'd throw that out. But I was going to make the point that government is your psychotic neighbor. Now, most people don't think of... Your
psychotic, controlled freak, piece of filth neighbor with no accountability in a black uniform with a machine gun.
Oh, yeah, but most people, they don't go for people like that, individuals, but they will go for organizations. So I was going to make the point that if Ted Bundy was your neighbor, do you, A, want him to like you, or would you say, B, Ted, I think I'll pass on that barbecue? You know, most people would say, yeah, we'll pass on it. And if you are, you know, across the street from him, one side, the neighbor he does like, and on the other side, this guy does not go along with my kind of thinking. I don't like him. So who would you rather spend time with? The one he does approve of or the one he doesn't? My point is, if we have a psychotic government, why is everyone trying to be liked by it? Why are they trying to be favored by it? Wouldn't you cozy up to Tony Soprano and, you know, you get what you deserve? And
absolutely. They do it out of cowardice. Let's jam in one more. Matt in Canada, thanks for holding. You're on the air.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, Alex. How's it going?
Pretty good. Just watching total criminality take over. I'm really freaked out.
Nice to talk to you. Anyways, I had a question for you. If you know, we were putting our money all into gold, well, who's to say that they couldn't create like a gold seizure like they did in 1933?
They could do anything. The point is, if your money's in the bank, they can grab it that much easier.
Well, if you have the gold in your safe at home, like, can they come with like black cop uniforms, come to your door?
Hey, they come with black cop with the black uniform cops and take your children sometimes if you don't vaccinate, because the cops are dumb and don't know there's no law, and the CPS workers get bounties on your kids' heads. This is all eugenics. This is a government taking over. You know, the Nazis and the Soviets took people's children. I mean, this is a rogue criminal government, so there's no way to completely protect yourself. It's just we're asking the question, is it safer to have some gold and silver, not all your money in that, than to just keep it all in the bank?
Yeah, it's better to get it out of the bank, but like if we get the gold in our hands, we should probably hide it pretty good.
Yeah, I think most of us don't have the problem of having a whole bunch of extra money to have that going on, but look, bottom line, sir, that's the whole point. The government doesn't follow a law. It's a private management group for private offshore corporations to suck off us, and they use high-tech brainwashing and public relations to neutralize and confuse the public. And we're going into hardcore tyranny right now. I mean, no matter who gets elected, it's just going to get worse. They're puppets. They don't run anything. The New World Order's in control. We're not going to get our power back until we admit that.
I know. I see it like locally here in Vancouver on the trains. The transit cops all have tasers.
That's right, and if they catch you without a ticket,
if you don't have a ticket, they'll just taser you.
They taser you, and they say, and then the police chief, the transit head, got in trouble, and he said, "Yes, we're going to punish you. It's cattle prods."
Yeah.
And tasers have killed almost 400 people. They admit to, and so what do? They say we're going to go from 50,000 volts to 75,000 volts. And you're going to like it. You're going to learn how to be a pathetic slave. Okay? I mean, look, 20, 30 years ago, and I've seen the studies on this, Americans would help somebody in need. They would help somebody being mugged or attacked or killed or bleeding to death in the street. They don't now on average because they've been trained. They watch 4 or 5 hours of TV a day. They wait for somebody else to do it. They're cowardly. Stop being cowards. Get angry. And stop defending the rat-infested government. It's just stealing everything. I mean, here in Texas, they said there's no toll roads. There's no plan for toll roads. The company isn't foreign, and then now they're doing all. They just lie. Take the neighbor analogy. What if you had a neighbor who lied to you 1,000 times? Neighbor you'd caught doing all these horrible things. I mean, the government gets caught every week shipping heroin and cocaine in. It's just the Texas Youth Commission runs giant rape rooms with children in them. I mean, just the whole government's totally filled with scum. We'll be right back with more of your calls. Stay with us.